Let's see. Are we all lined up? We are. Seamless. Okay, are we ready? I will not be... Do you know what? I think there is something different about playing a horror game. I think it's much more immersive in a way. I mean, films are immersive, but you don't control what's going on. So I think there is a deeper level of immersion with games. So for that reason, I will not be playing scary games. Okay, let's see where we're at. Yeah, jump scares. They just are not fun. Okay, do tell me if the sound is off or anything else. If there's sound at all. Can you hear that?
Hello and welcome to the final part of our fantastical tale. We sit on the eve of the rebirth of Square Enix's new world. Almost exactly 3 years after the original catastrophic launch, Eorzea was going to be getting a second chance. But this time, everybody knew it wasn't going to be getting a third.
Once Dalamud had struck, Yoshida-san moved the 1.x patch team into the main team working on A Realm Reborn, taking lessons from contemporary MMOs, feedback from players over the 1.x phase, and elements that worked from the original version. They crafted a modern Final Fantasy XIV, set in a vibrant world.
No, not BRB. Just hang on one moment. Just gonna adjust. Oh, no. Okay.
World that reflected the energy of the franchise. And for Yoshida-san and some other members of the team, this was going to be a very public thing, as they took the short train ride from the office in Shinjuku to Shibuya to take part in a very special launch event.
その渋谷のイベントへ向かうために朝電車に乗ってた。で、少しリハーサルを当然やらなきゃいけないので、まあ少し早めに家を出て、ああいよいよ発売日かって思いながらその電車に乗っていたらちょうどそのドアの近くに立ってたんですよ。そしたらそのドアの僕は右側に立ってたんだけど、左側に立っていた男の子、多分大学生ぐらいだと思うんだけど、緑の綺麗な男の子がすっと僕のとこに寄ってきて、小声で吉田さんですよね。本当に発売おめでとうございますって、プレイヤーですって言われたんですよ。で、そんな状況でまあそのイベントを始めて、で、まあみんなでそのまあここまで来る話をまあステージでしていて、最後まあマイクが当たってきて話をしようとしたら、その朝そう言われたことをちょっと思い出しちゃって、いやいろいろあったなって思ったら言葉に詰まっちゃった瞬間に、その来てたプレイヤーたち、お客さんたちがこう頑張れって言われちゃって、もう昨日もちょっと話したように MMO って発売してもそれがゴールじゃないスタートなので、なんかあんまり感傷に浸ってる暇なんて本来ないんだけど、思わずこうプレイヤーにこう頑張れって言われたせいで泣けてきちゃって、
That's not embarrassing at all.
恥ずかしかったですね。
It's lovely. He cares.
運営を続けていこうと思います。本当にありがとうございます。そしてこれからもどうぞよろしくお願いします。
$105 million loss. Everything was resting on this.
Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn is a great MMORPG experience on both PC and PlayStation 3. Grounded in tradition and learning from the lessons of the games that preceded it, it thrives on the strengths of its excitingly varied and flexible class system and highly mobile combat.
The game's rough launch is mostly over, but you still might have to contend with login errors. But this is, by and large, a very good, massively multiplayer game, filled with lots of stuff to do, gorgeous vistas to behold, and lots of adorable narrative touches.
The challenge ahead for Square is to achieve the delicate balance of questing, dungeons, and fates for the second half of the leveling process, as well as it has the first. But considering the stunning reversal of fortune that Square has achieved here, it seems like anything is possible.
So what was it like then on your end after, years of working on this game, having the launch, basically being required to work on two separate games at the same time, patching one and then building an entirely new one, almost in secret for a large part of it, to then see, what was it like reading reviews and reading message boards when people were like, oh, fuck, they did it?
It was, we were just as surprised. Not as surprised because, again, it was definitely different. In those months before releasing the original, I knew that the game wasn't in good shape. And so it's kind of, you're lying to yourself, trying to say, no, this is going to be good. They're going to like this part. They're going to like this part. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. But with A Realm Reborn, playing it's like, this is a really good game. You're playing like enjoying it, but there's still that little bit in the back of your mind that's like, and it's what we were told is that once the game has been reviewed, even if you try to rebuild it, everyone's going to remember the old. They're not going to look at the new. Metacritic never forgets.
So
when 14 came out, the original, and it was maybe people like, okay, I think, I'm a hardcore offline Final Fantasy guy, but I'll try out this new one.
We're just watching the third Noclip documentary about Final Fantasy XIV. So yes, thank you for coming in. I'm Colin Ryan. I'm the voice of Alphinaud in Final Fantasy XIV from Heaven's Ward onwards. And so I'm going to be playing the game in a little bit after we have watched the third part of this documentary. First two parts I watched in previous streams, which are all on YouTube, both on YouTube. And so this is the last one, the New World, and the launch of Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn, which I wasn't in. Anyway, continuing.
But then, okay, it's terrible. See, I knew it. It's terrible. They're not going to want to come back for a second time. It's like, no, I already played that. It was terrible. And so there was just this feeling that even if it's a really great game, no one's going to play it. They're just going to brush it off because it's the bad Final Fantasy Online that I tried, in beta and it sucked, so I'm not going to play it anymore. And so we were afraid of that. But then, wow, it was just. Servers breaking not breaking, but servers getting so packed with people in those first few days, and then seeing the reviews come in, and they saved, and then they start saying things like, you saved the franchise, and you saved the series, and I don't know, remembering what it was like, at their launch of 1.0, and then just being able to, because who gets to re-experience a bad launch? It's something you don't get in the game industry. And
especially in MMOs.
And we did, and it was a great experience to be able to say, it was just that vindication of all of that extra work that we had put in. It was what Yoshida-san had promised us. If we worked hard and if we did this right, that in a year and a half's time, we can do this. And a lot of people didn't believe him. And, a normal person probably wouldn't believe him. But, maybe that's why we were able to do it, because all of the abnormals remained and made something that was, literally impossible happen.
やっぱりサーバーがあまりにも混雑して遊べない、せっかくパッケージをお金を出して買ってきたのに ゲームが遊べないとは何事だ。まあオンラインゲームだから当然サーバーに繋がらないと遊べないので、なんか評価とか以前の問題で、その買ってもらったのに遊べない状況を作ってること自体が、その僕にとってはまあショック。まああんなに来るとは思う。
Tofu Rabbit, hello, thank you so much. Welcome in. It's a Bun Bun raid. Hey, we are just watching the third Noclip documentary. Sorry, everyone else who has just heard me say all this, because we had another raid. I'm watching the third Noclip documentary. I'm Colin Ryan. I voice Alphinaud in Final Fantasy XIV from Heaven's Ward onwards. And we are watching the third part of the Noclip documentaries, The New World, about A Realm Reborn, which I wasn't in. Anyway, it was Sam Riegel. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
もちろん思ってなかったっていうのも要因ですけど、だから評価云々の前にまずちゃんとゲームに接続して遊べるようにしなきゃっていうことばっかりが当時の1ヶ月半ぐらい出荷を停止したりとか販売を停止したりとか、それしか全然覚えてないですね。
With most other genres, this would be the part of the story where we fade to black and roll credits, but such luxuries don't exist in the world of massively multiplayer online games. In fact, after the release of A Realm Reborn, or 2.0 as they call it internally, the team applied the same content-rich patching schedule they had undertaken with 1.0, releasing a significant 2.x patch to the game every 3 to 4 months. Over the next 2 years, these patches progressed the story of ARR, added in epic raids and new modes such as 72-player PvP battles. But just like before, while the team was working on these 2.x patches, they were concurrently building an updated version of the game, the first expansion pack, Heaven's Word.
2014年の10月、9月10月ぐらいかな、開発チームにも、吉田さん申請したら楽になるって言ってませんでしたっけって。バカ MMO、これだけ巨大な規模の MMO は、最初のエクスパンションパック出すところまでがスタートダッシュなんだよって言って、ごめんねって。
Well, I mean, what was in our minds was, not having another letdown. You don't take for granted that the rebuild was a success. We can't just expect our users to say, oh, they're going to release expansion, so we can do whatever we want, and doesn't matter, they'll buy it, ha ha ha. There was none of that sense. One good thing that came out of the failed launch is that it's instilled into, the developers, all of the developers' minds that, we have to always strive to be better. We can't, let our guard down. It's in everyone's mind, and it's always lurking back there. And we don't want to repeat that. And because of that, everyone is like always on the top of their game.
Is that still there even now? Because it's been 3.5 years.
Well, I mean, yeah, the old guard, yes. We all have that. But it's not all the old guard anymore. People have moved off onto other projects. Some people have left the company to go freelance, explore new opportunities. A lot of new people have come in. And so a lot of people, don't remember, what happened in 1.0 because they
you
weren't
summer
there.
children.
That's right. Exactly. And, us old timers can tell them, well, back in my day, we did it. And they'll be like, yeah, okay, whatever. And, sometimes it does feel like that. There's always the chance that, you can just get too full of yourself and not do 100%, not learn from your mistakes, and that, the community was like, no, we're done. And, we were lucky to be given a second chance.
Right.
We were really lucky to have that second chance actually succeed. I don't know, third time, I don't know if I want to, press my luck any further. It's not a fun situation to be in. The things that I've learned over these past 7-8 years working on 11, the original and the new and the expansions, is something that I'm going to carry with me to all future projects, as it will with, all of the other devs that have done that. a piece of that Final Fantasy XIV 1.0, a piece of that, ARR and the expansions. Will be with all of them, and
really interesting. That sounded really disingenuous. It really is interesting. Just a question. How involved is Koji still in the development of the game? Does anyone know? Does anyone know? Very. Very, as far as I know. Okay. Good to know. He still leads the English localization team. Recently, he stepped down from lead writer. Okay, but he's still localization lead. And he's also the singer in the Primals. How cool is that? I saw the Primals. They were epic. It was at FanFest, wasn't it? Yeah. Right, I see. Great. And I love all of Koji's puns and all the little Easter eggs that he puts in. So fun.
Hopefully they'll be able to use that in all their future projects.
Heavensward was another win for the team. Critically praised and loved by the community, it helped push cumulative subscriptions for the game beyond 5 million. In fact, the amount of players in Eorzea has kept rising.
当然上がり下がりはあります。上がり下がりをしながら少しずつ右へ上がっていくっていうのが、あんまり他の MMO ではない曲線なのかもしれないですけど、とにかくゲームデザインでずっとこの Final Fantasy XIV っていうゲームをプレイし続けて
Sorry, I just highlighted message. I love all the puns he puts in. Hates and ignores the best ones, which are the Fate names. Really? Okay, that is interesting and good to know. Fates, I don't know. I just don't like fates. I think it's that you don't get a choice whether to do them or not. Well, you do, but they just get sprung upon you. Don't like that. Anyway.
いなければついていけなくなるとか、
are there any spoilers?
その一度やめてしまったら戻れないっていうふうに絶対にならないようにっていうのが14のゲームデザインの根幹にある。なぜなら今本当にみんな忙しい。一つのゲームだけになんだろう、毎日ログインし続けられるわけじゃない。それはもともと MMO が大好きな僕ですらそうなので、そう考えた時に遊びたい時に遊んで、メジャーアップデートが来たら一気に遊んで、少し落ち着いて他のゲームを遊んだり、家族サービスをしたり、でまたメジャーが来たらそれでいいと思ってるし、これからの MMO はそうじゃないと多分やっていけない。でやっぱり大きくゲーム1本分の新しい体験が来た時、全員集合して最新のファイナルファンタジーをプレイしてもらいたい。だからそれが基本ベースにあるので、やっぱりそのパッチの間で上がり下がりはする。ただ評判を聞いてずっと増え続けていくっていうのが理想だと思ってるし、14はそれでやれてきてるので、ただもっともっと遊んでほしい、たくさんの人にと思ってるので、チャレンジをまだまだ続けたいとは思ってます。
The latest expansion pack, Stormblood, comes hot on the heels of 2 years worth of 3.x patches, which have added fresh storylines and features to Heavensward. With it comes increased level caps, new dungeons, jobs, raids, zones, and some changes to the battle system. Stormblood will also mark the end of the game's lifetime on the PlayStation 3, but of course in the intervening years, the team has since launched the game on the PlayStation 4. Final Fantasy XIV had been a financial disaster for Square Enix. Subscriptions were turned off for most of the 1.x era, and the company poured significant funds and trust into the team tasked with its rebirth. The importance of this franchise to the company is mirrored by its importance to its players and of course the development team. This is a group of people who have dedicated years into ensuring that this game came back from the dead. Yoshida-san says he only needs about 4 hours sleep a night. I asked him about his social life. He says he doesn't really remember anything except work. He speaks fondly of those players that stuck with the team, those warriors of light that were saved at the end of 1.0. His respect for fans of this game and all Final Fantasy fans is clear to see. The The realm of Eorzea is totally different now. A bustling, vibrant place full of stories, quests and adventurers. A world expanded upon even more with the release of Stormblood. But the old world, the story of 1.0, the fall of Dalamud and the people who survived the cataclysm will always live on. Those who were there, be them player or developer, will forever be bound together by that experience.
Instead of a lot of games will create, these myths for their games, we have a myth that actually happened, but because it happened so long ago and only a few people saw it, most of the new players now, they look at back and it's like, did it really happen? What is this battle with the White Raven and Riven Road? And it was just this grand battle, all different levels and this,
that is so cool.
Dimensional rifts, and it sounds like an actual myth, but it's not just a story we made up for this. It's actually happened. And as the game progresses and new players come on, it's further and further back in history that this really cool thing happened. And so, that visual works cutscene. I remember watching it and just like, goosebumps all over. I'm watching with all of these other, like the directors and producers and, the director of the visual works, and we're all sitting there and they're all watching it, and I'm just watching it, and like, I've got like tear in my eyes, like, oh, yeah, it's dust. And it was that powerful because it kind of encompassed not only, what the character went through, it was an image of what we as developers had done as well. At the beginning, we're all, let's do this. It's going to be an adventure. We're like that first cutscene where, with the party that goes out and they have their guild leave and they go out and they fight the Morble. And that's us at the beginning. And then the release hits you and you're down. Then you have that cutscene where it's just like, everyone's working together to make something new, and then it fails, but no, it didn't fail. And you're just, and all of the memories of, the past years, the good and the bad kind of all come together, and, just so overwhelming. And that's pretty much the reaction then when we finally released it to the public that we got. So many people, I just remember the forums, checking out the forums that day. People were just like, I've been in tears all day. I've watched it 10 times. And to see that, that everyone felt the same way. It wasn't just, the development team. It's that you have this hardcore group of very, very loyal fans that, they believed in the game. We believed in the game. We stuck together. We were able to build, this new thing that's not just for us, but it's opening up the doors for a whole new audience. But, remember, we were there first. We're the ones that, that stood by it, and we're the ones that did this. And, they have the pride in that. Those players, those warriors of light that were, the before Meteor guys, Yoshida-san in interviews will always talk about, those people that supported us and we couldn't have done it. It sounds so cliche. Oh, we couldn't have done it without your support. Literally, we could not have done it. Literally, we.
Oh my gosh, hello. It's a big raid. Hang on, let me just pop out for a bit. Hi. Who is this? Gardevoir 101. Hello. Thank you so much for the raid. Really appreciate that. I'm just watching the third Noclip documentary about Final Fantasy XIV and the launch of A Realm Reborn, and now going into Heaven's Ward, and like how it saved the franchise, saved the game. Yes, really interesting. For those who don't know, I am Colin Ryan, and I voice Alphinaud in Final Fantasy XIV from Heaven's Ward onwards. People have heard me say this for the third time now. But yeah, it's true though. That is who I am, and basically I am playing the game from the start, from A Realm Reborn, and I am currently in Heaven's Ward. We are trying to get into Azisla, but we need a key. We found the key, but then what's his name, Thordan, he stole it from us. And so now, hang on, I'm going to do a recap in a bit. I don't need to do all this, do I? But anyway, let's go back to the documentary because it's really good. I'm just totally in awe of the dev team. I just think what they did with the game, from the kind of ruins of 1.0 to now is just incredible. And I just love seeing how much this is the second time I've put Koji in a pause pose that is quite funny. I just love seeing how much they care and how much of themselves and their souls they invest in the game. Yes, it's really, really inspiring.
Could not have done it. I mean, if those people hadn't remained, we just would like, no, let's forget it. We're not going to do it. We wouldn't have put as much effort in. It would have just been, okay, yeah, whatever. That's just free to play,
Back when 1.0 came out, and could you have imagined that 3-4 years later you'd be in a fan event with thousands of people in Germany?
No, I don't really imagine that. Yeah, I mean, one day, we were, always saying one day we want to run a big fun event. We were, actually dreaming to have a huge fun festival in the future at that timing. But actually, yeah, we made it. So yeah, that was really great.
Some dreams come true.
Yes, yes.
まあただ自分スクエア長いんですけれども、あんまり変な言い方ですけど、会社に対して帰属意識というか、なんかそこはあまりなくてですね。やっぱりゲーム作るって誰と一緒に作るかがすごく大切で、そこが一番重要だなと思っているんで、今回のプロジェクトは本当に組んでみたいというスタッフと組んで、すごく大きなことがやれて、すごい楽しかったし、楽しいですね。って感じで。はい。
強調したいことがあるとすれば、初日に 1.0 の話をしてましたけど、誰か一人、もしくはデベロップメントチームが、ということではなくて、やっぱり、今でも、本当に、会社自体の大きな過ちが、すべての悪い部分が、ファイナルファンタジー14で出てしまったっていう、それはリリースって意味のデータではなくて、それが全て爆発したのが、ファイナルファンタジー14のオリジナルバージョンだったんじゃないかって、本当に強く思ってるので、でも、今、14のリバンプを会社全体としてやって、15がリリースできて、スクエニは少しずつ変わってきたと思ってるし、もっと変わらなきゃいけないと思ってる。もしかすると少し安心してる人たちも今いるのかもしれないけど、まだまだ変わらなきゃいけないと思ってるので、なんかそのあたりがうまく伝わってると、いいなとは思います。これは、スクエアエニックスっていう会社が作るゲームに期待してもらってる人が世界中にたくさんいると思うんですけど、僕もそうだったから、でもまだまだスクエアエニックスってこのレベルじゃないじゃん、もっと上いけるじゃんって思ってくれてるはずなので、そのためにはもっと変わらなきゃいけないし、チャレンジもしなきゃいけないと思ってるので、そういった要素も今回のお話でうまく伝わってくれると嬉しいかなとは思います。僕らはそういうつもりでやってますっていうメッセージが少しでもね出ていけばいいなとは。プレイヤーの皆さんと会社が望めばそうなってると思いますし、プレイヤーの皆さんや会社が他のゲームを作れって望んでくれれば他のゲーム作ってるかもしれないですし、両方一緒に同時にやってるかもしれないし。僕は少なくともスクエアエニックスって今会社の、スタッフで自分の会社なわけではないので、やっぱプレイヤーの皆さん、ファンの皆さんがスクエアエニックスに何を期待するのかっていうのを会社がどう考えるかだと僕は思ってるんで、もちろん自分で作ってみたいゲームがないわけじゃもちろんないですけど、好きなものを作りたいならね、会社辞めて自分で会社作ればって思っちゃうんで、望まれる限りは、頑張ろうと思いますけど。ただそろそろね、プロデューサーとディレクター のどっちかは誰かやってくんねえかなって思いますけどね。
No.
The tale of the death and rebirth of Final Fantasy XIV Online is a cautionary tale in corporate hubris. It's a story about the power of humility, respect, and unity. A fun story for those of us who knew nothing about it, cherished times for those who were fortunate enough to be there when it all happened, and a wonderful reminder of something we come across so often in life, the idea that reality can often be even more amazing than the fantasy.
Absolutely fascinating. Yeah, I feel like Alphinaud really is an embodiment of almost Square Enix. Like him talking about the hubris of the company, and how it was a lesson in kind of being humbled, and how you grow from that, and that self-reflection that Alphinaud goes through, Square Enix had to do as well, right? Yeah, interesting.